Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining. We're live on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and LinkedIn all at the same time. If you are joining for the first time, my name is Henry Onole. I'm an AI expert, an AI strategist, an AI futurist, an AI governance expert, also a responsible AI expert. Um, As you all know, I'm an enthusiast of artificial intelligence. At the beginning of this year, we embarked on a journey to read 4 AI books with major emphasis on AI ethics, AI governance, and responsible AI or AI safety. And so far, we've been able to read 3 books, and we're currently rounding up the last one. The first book we read is titled AI Governance, a Primer. The author is Edward Aden. And the second book we read is titled AI Governance, Applying AI Policy and Ethics Through Principle and Assessment. The author is Dr. Daryl J. Carlton. And the third book we read is an unofficial guide for prepping for AI governance professional certification. And the author is Nico Joy MCAT. And the last book that we're almost even done with it, I believe we have not less than 15 pages to complete the book. Uh, it's titled Responsible AI in the Age of Generative Model. Responsible AI in the Age of Generative Model. And the author is I. Alameda. Yep, this is the book that we're currently reading. If you are just joining, please endeavor to share this on your social media platform, um, so that others can be a beneficiary. And I know many of you might be wondering, why are we engaging in a daily book reading? One is to encourage the habit of reading, because if you really want to deepen your understanding of artificial intelligence, you have to go beyond taking AI courses, but also one thing you must enjoy doing is also getting your hand on books, authored on artificial intelligence. I think that will broaden your understanding of AI for someone who wants to have an adequate knowledge and to be able to operate at a very high level. Then engaging a daily book reading of artificial intelligence will help you to go very far and understand, the length and breadth, the parameters, having understanding of AI just beyond taking a course, but you understand the theory, you understand the concept, and having this background will help you to envisage the future of artificial intelligence and help you to have more clarity. And if you are someone who wants to go into that line, you see, there are different ways you can navigate your way when it comes to pursuing a career in artificial intelligence. There are 2 different major ways. The first one is learning how to use AI tool, maybe for your current job, or learning an AI tool that you can develop yourself so that it can become a craft. Yeah, maybe learning how to use AI uh, to perform some kind of work that are done by graphic designer, learning developing a skill on AI on how to create maybe some kind of artwork. Yeah, those are skills that you can learn, and I believe when you begin to post it, a lot of people will appreciate. And these are some of the things that we want to kind of deep dive. I want to start inviting individuals who are into this aspect of using AI to make a living. Yes, these are some of the discussion that I intend to start before the end of the year. I'm already making some moves around there, and I believe it should be a source of blessing and a source of inspiration to so many people who are very curious and who are willing to learn. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue our book reading. We're reading this book. To be honest, just to be sincere, if you don't enjoy reading, probably this section might be so boring to you. But for anyone who is trying to develop their knowledge of artificial intelligence, this is something you are going to find very fascinating. I'm so happy that we're almost rounding up a book that is about 400 and something pages. And so far this year, I guess we've read about 1,000 pages. And I think I might introduce the fifth book. There's a possibility that I might introduce it. I also have another AI book that is also focused on safety and governance. Okay, let's continue. Today we're reading chapter 7. If you are just joining, this is the book we're currently reading. It's Responsible AI in the Age of Generative Model. You can get a copy of this book from Amazon. Yep. Okay, let's continue. EU AI Act co-rapporteurs reflect on monumental achievements in balancing innovation and protection. After grueling months of intense negotiation between the European Parliament, Commission, and Council, EU policymakers made history by becoming the first leading economic bloc to put comprehensive rules on the books governing AI system. The landmark AI Act political agreement has been commended for striking an appropriate equilibrium between fostering AI beneficial potential for Europe while curtailing very real risks from certain applications. The European Parliament co-rapporteur piloting passage of the bill centuries Dragos. How do you pronounce this name? Centuries Dragos Tudorache and socialist Brando Benefair recently shared their perspective on these unprecedented legislative achievements. In particular, they highlighted the most pivotal aspect of the final accord review Tony's compromise made and discussed global reverberation from Europe, AI rule making trailblazing, crafting a global gold standard for trustworthy AI. Both led MEP negotiators understood that AI art's paramount accomplishment in enacting the world first all-encompassing legal framework for this rapidly advancing technology. They believe the legislation capture the sweet spot between stimulating AI innovation across Europe while suitably safeguarding fundamental rights and values. As Tudorache succinctly encapsulated, the greatest achievement is striking the right balance between protection and innovation across all aspects of AI development and deployment. This finally turned equilibrium runs through the nearly 200 pages of legislative nest with talented obligation and restriction, targeting the highest risk AI system posing significant threat to safety and rights. Simultaneously, the bulk of AI systems remain unencumbered unencumbered to progress responsibly. Benefair spotlighted the art's bespoke and flexible risk-based methodology with conformity assessment and transparency duties matching up commensurate with the intended purpose and potential societal implications. To demonstrate Benefei is spelled as Benefei, cited the example of an AI application utilized to gauge student academic performance. This will compel both iris conformity vetting before market placement as well as localized human rights impact evaluation from deploying institutions like schools. Such appraisals would weigh factors including pedagogical approaches, diversity considerations, and other contextual elements, introducing possible risks. This use case spotlights the layered accountability instrument attached to sensitive social environment like education, spanning developer responsibility through institutional user obligations. Benefit termed the nuance risk differentiator scaffolding spanning from minimal to limited to maximum risk AI, the legislation backbone. Compromise on national security exception. Both led MEPs shared their most vexing concession during the Hadios last stage negotiations. Unequivocally, they pointed to the broad horizontal national security exemption demanded by EU countries, enabling them to bypass all regulatory requirements when deploying AI systems deemed essential for safeguarding national security. Tudorache lamented that parliament negotiators ultimately had little choice but to cave on this red line issue for government despite explicit carve out in EU law treaties. However, MEP did manage to secure critical fundamental rights, safeguard and legal restriction so security services don't have completely unfettered freedom. Conclusion: global template with future adaptability. While still needing some painful compromises, Tudorache and Benefit maintain that overall, the landmark EU AI Act succeed in forging a pragmatic yet principled balance between meta, metastasizing risks and opportunities. They believe it cements trustworthy AI guardrails as the global norm while still affording European companies and researchers ample running room for continued ethical leadership. Moreover, they tout the legislation adaptability, enabling update as the field continue rapidly evolving as the framework stays resilient against tomorrow unforeseeable advances. By and large, the co-rapporteur underscored that Europe managed in strike regulatory goal, seizing the right moment to intervene amidst AI societal proliferation when potential damages require democratic check before further metastasizing. Crucially, this governance sweet spots square protection, promotion, and flexibility, making it a historic template for the world. Okay, the next chapter, chapter 74. If you are joining, we are reading from this book that is titled Responsible AI in the Age of Generative Models. EU AI Acts Analysis and Implication. Technology neutral, future proof definition. A key challenge in regulating a rapidly evolving technology like AI is ensuring the rules remain relevant, even as the field continues seeing breakthrough innovation. The EU AI Act make an effort to define key terms like artificial intelligence system in a broad technology neutral way. The technical definition focus on functionality, the ability to generate output, interacting with and influencing the environment towards subhuman defined objectives. Rather than looking down specific techniques, it covers software developed using machine learning approaches listed in the regulation annex, which will get updated as the field progresses. Similarly, the EU has moved away from the term IRIX AI system to the more generic general purpose AI to cover powerful, extensible models like ChatGPT that can get better at a diverse range of tasks based on more data and compute. This may cover innovation not foreseen today. However, certain sectors worry about definitions like AI system are still too expensive and risks bringing traditional software and industries like processes automation into scope with obligation disproportionate to actual risks or harms involved. Much will depend on how the law gets interpreted and enforced in practice across member states once adopted. But overall, the emphasis on functionality over techniques, adaptable risk classification built on impact severity rather than list and committee governance, integrating diverse expertise, make the EU regulatory approach stand out in being designed for future resilience as much as possible. Prohibited uses and practices. One of the most striking aspects of the EU regulatory approach is prohibiting certain uses of AI altogether as contravening European values and against fundamental rights. This outright ban include manipulative system, use of AI for social scoring and other listed practices. The prohibition set clear bright lines and only permits narrow carve out in exceptional cases like searches for missing children and preventing terrorist threat to life and limb. Any permitted use still requires extensive safeguard and authorization from supervisory bodies. This domain-specific restriction and human rights-centric perspective differs from the content self-regulation approach dominant globally. However, the severity of blanket bans on use cases like emotion recognition or biometric categorization tools remain debatable given the pace of innovation. Enforcement is also challenging for real-time identification unless coupled with ubiquitous surveillance. Nevertheless, experts argue the EU AI Act adopts an inspirational stance rooted in ethical norms around consent, dignity, and non-discrimination. Instead of playing catch-up after technologies and business models become entrenched, it attempts to embed moral values proactively into research and engineering itself. Prohibition also spurs providers to explore alternative approaches less prone to fundamental right infringement. And by expanding the debate on AI beyond technical progress or business growth toward responsibility, the EU offers a refreshing societal perspective that may gradually influence global technology discourse over time. IRIC system classification. The EU regulatory framework designates AI system posing significant risks to health, safety, and right as high risks, allow but subject to more stringent requirements. However, determining what qualifies as high risk involve subtle qualitative judgment by providers and regulators. The regulation provides criteria like scale of harm, vulnerability of impacted groups to classify high risks AI rather than just listening use cases. But concepts like unfair bias can be hard to measure objectively, even with rigorous testing. Self assessment are also tricky for developers to judge the societal impact of their creation impartially. Other time, the EU expert governance bodies are expected to issue guidance and benchmark to help standardize risk classification methodology. For example, the technical specification and test suits being released to assess trustworthy AI under the EU pilot project. The German agency DIN has also been working on criteria processes for risk-based evaluation of AI systems. But variability across countries and stakeholders may lead to fragmentation unless unified protocols get widely adopted. Disagreement around risk level between providers, certain use cases, and lack of oversight capacity in smaller member states could pose governance challenge as well. The onus will be on the EU centralized AI board and network authorities to continue providing clarity to enable harmonized regulation. Conformity assessment. Before deployment, IRIX AI system must undergo conformity assessment either based on internal check by providers or audit by third-party notified bodies. This verification validates if system meets requirements around data quality, transparency, accuracy laid out in the regulation. For AI embedded in existing products like machine or medical devices, assessment will integrate the existing EU certification processes for those industries whenever relevant national bodies have adequate AI expertise. Otherwise, certain standalone IRIC system will follow self-assessment by providers with third party auditing only for remote biometric identification. This tailored approach aims to balance limited technical capacity currently to audit algorithm with the need for independence in evaluating high-stake technologies. However, many more, there are under 5,000 notified bodies in the EU, whereas millions of enterprises could be directly impacted by AI laws. Notified bodies are organizations designated by EU countries to assess the conformity of certain products before being placed on the market. These bodies plays a critical role in ensuring that product meets EU standards, including those for safety, health, and environmental protection. Scaling skills and staff to validate AI system could therefore prove challenging. The onus is also on regulation to ensure consistency in approach, expectation, and decision on conformity across diverse notified bodies, as well as between self-assessment and audits. Passing testing criteria doesn't automatically translate into responsible real-world deployment. Continued governance support, especially for small and medium businesses, will be crucial for effective standardization too. Transparency obligation. The EU regulatory framework mandates certain transparency obligation for high-risk application as well as purely limited risk AI system to disclose their automated nature to users. However, technical feasibility concerns remain around provisions like detailed data sheets or watermarking. Generating model card covering aspects like metrics, test results, maintenance need to explain system capabilities is important for trust. But the field lacks standard currently on what transparency documentation should include and how much is adequate, especially a system keep as system keep evolving. Okay, wow, this is a lot. I'm not sure we're going to finish this. Wow, this is a lot of page. I think this is the end. Let me just check. Okay, okay, this is interesting. Okay, I think we're going to stop at page 424. Yeah, let's end it here because there's a lot of chapters that needs to be covered. Okay, a lot of pages rather. Now, the requirement also for text or audio based deepfake to be recognizable as AI generated could be trickier for providers or implement compared to visual media. Watermarking tests in a reliable yet on yet imperceptible manner remains an open research challenge currently, and techniques that alter output quality or usability may just push generation underground rather than deter misuse. The costs and expertise demand of extra documentation, data storage explanation, interfaces imposed by transparency obligation have also faced criticism from industries as as stifling innovation. While larger vendors can easily comply, the barriers for smaller startups and open source developers could be disproportionate to actual risks from more explanatory AI users. Getting the balance right between transparency need and constraint will require the EU independent expert bodies to incorporate both ethical and engineering consideration holistically while framing implementing guidance. Too vague or rigid norms either way risks hampering adoption of societally beneficial AI. The governance framework. The EU AI Act introduced a coordinated governance structure between centralized expert bodies and national authorities to oversee a harmonized, trustworthy AI ecosystem across Europe. However, operational complexity around cooperation and resources pose key challenges. The new institutional architecture aims to balance union level guidance with region specific compliance practices suited for the world linguistically diverse single market spanning varied histories and culture. But coordination complexity between the European and national governance layer in terms of processes, information flows, and decision hierarchies will need streamlining, especially considering AI time scale. Wow, that brings us to the end of today AI book reading, and today we are going to stop at page 425. Yeah, page 425. Okay, thanks for joining this episode of AI Sport, the AI book reading. If you're just joining, just to provide a little context, we engage in a 30-minute book reading where we go through some of our selected books. And so far, we're reading the last book we have in the bucket list, which is Responsible AI in the Age of Generative Model. You can get a copy for yourself from Amazon. I'm not the author of the book, and there is no partnership. I don't have partnership with the author. It's just an exercise that we decided to engage ourselves in. Beginning of this year, we started with 4 books, and so far we've been able to complete 3 books, and this is the last one. And I know some of you might be asking why we're engaging in this daily book reading. One is to encourage the habit of reading, and two, to help you deepen your understanding of artificial intelligence from a responsible AI point of view, from an ethical point of view, from a safety point of view. This is very important. And the teachings of this book are things that you can incorporate into your individual adoption of artificial intelligence, and also from an organization perspective. You are going, you will also learn how to drive the implementation of AI to be in compliance with the responsible AI policy of the organization. This week has been a lot of maybe some new updates. There is an update with Elon Musk AI Grok. Right now, I think when it comes to using AI for more deep research, Grok has been improved or has gone through some level of advancement. You can go online and look for the video where Elon Musk and member of his team were doing a demo of what advancement or development has happened to Grok. Grok is like the likes of like ChatGPTs and AI tool. And one of the things he said Grok is more smarter than four PhD students. Yeah, he gave a use. He kind of gave cited an example like that. Then, if you want to get an update on the capability of Grok platform, which is an AI technology that is founded by Elon Musk. Yeah, I think that is the latest update when it comes to one of the well-known AI products out there. And there has been some recent updates in terms of, will I say, I'm looking for the right word to use, but there's been some kind of controversy in terms of acquiring an AI coding platform, which is called Winsoft. At a point, OpenAI wants to acquire it. But to me, looking at the situation, I think it's an issue of mistrust, intransparency among the team, an issue of greediness. That is the way I'm going. Everyone, have their own opinion. But when a startup company is in a deep mess like that of Winsoft, I can clearly tell you there is lack of transparency. That means the founder is not transparent to other to the employees of the organization. That means the founder do not have their interest in that. Yeah, he didn't have their interest in that. Yeah, he didn't have their interest. If he does have their interest, and the deal with OpenAI might not collapse, might not lead to the extent where Google is trying to acquire the founder and other important member of the team, without buying the company as a whole. Then it's kind of very messy, and that means everybody was just carrying their own course. That man, just think about yourself, and that I think that is not good. That is not a standard practice. That is not a good practice when it comes to workforce policy. Yes, to be honest. Where's the transparency? Where's the workplace ethics? All these things has been left aside. You understand? There is no loyalty anymore. Everybody is just after the money, and which is not good. That is painting the bad side of the industry. Then we should not allow this AI rush to make us ignore those ethical policy when it comes to workforce and best practices when it comes to running an organization. Yeah, money should not come first. If you have people that have worked with you to build up a startup company that is well known, and you as a founder, you decided to, exit by taking an opportunity that will, enrich your pocket without thinking about the people who were supporting you. I don't think that is good for the industry. And I think that is the recent update. And I recently attended a summit in Paris, France. It's called the Race Summit. Very, very interesting summit, very fascinating, very well planned, very well organized. And I give a thumbs up to the organizers of Race Summit. I give them a thumbs up. They did a great job It was well organized. They brought very great speaker, very high personality in the industry. I had the opportunity of meeting about 7 to 8 CEOs, and that was an amazing experience for me. Yeah, that was an amazing experience. A big thumbs up to the organizers of the event and also the founders of Race Summit. And I want to put it out there. Um, if you're an AI expert and you would like to engage me in a discussion, in a live discussion, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. If you are, if whatever you are doing in the AI space, we can, we can have like a podcast section on it. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Whatever you are doing, the world of artificial intelligence, please endeavor to reach out to me. Let us see what kind of discussion we can have, that can be beneficiary to others out there. Yeah, please. If you are an academia, maybe you are in the field of sociology, you are in the field of psychology, you are in the field of mass communication, journalism. I'm trying to have discussion about the nexus between AI and other discipline. AI as a discipline is multidisciplinary in nature. Yes, AI as an entity on its own is multidisciplinary in nature. Then I would like to have a discussion of the nexus between AI and other discipline. Then, if you are a professor, an academician who is interested in having such discussion, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Yes, I would definitely facilitate the discussion, give you some tips where you can come in and share your experience, and we can begin to explore, begin to talk about areas where upcoming researchers can begin to explore. Because to me, AI is not just a technology on its own, but it's something that is going to cause a great change in every aspect of our lives, including the educational system and also in so many disciplines. Then it is important that we have this great discussion. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. My name remains Henry Onowale. Do not hesitate to reach out. Please ping me if you maybe you are very good in using a particular AI tool. Do not hesitate to reach out to me. Please ping me on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook. Reach out to me. I'm going to put some content. I'm working on some new content as well. Very soon, I'm going to do a storytelling on AI and art. How does AI impact art? I've done some recording on it, and yeah, I'll be happy to share with you guys. Talk to you guys